11 Strangest Wills in History. 1. Jack Benny. Roses for his wife. Benny made arrangements before he died. His widow would be delivered a single rose every day. The comedian died in 1974 on the day after Christmas. Mary Livingstone received a rose every day until her death in 1983. 2. Gaspard Farr, the National Fund. In 1928, an anonymous person bequeathed £500,000 to Britain. This bequest is worth around £520 million today. The National Fund can only be spent to settle the entire national debt, but it covers less than 0.03% of today's debt. The man was a banker named Gaspard Farr. In 2022, a British court allowed the government to use the money. 3. Roger Brown, a night on the town. 67-year-old Roger Brown died of prostate cancer in 2013. His friends discovered he'd left a secret bequest of £3,500. The money was for 7 of Brown's closest friends, but he'd stipulated that they use it for a party weekend in Europe. 4. William Shakespeare, his second-best bed. Shakespeare snubbed his wife, Anne Hathaway. The bard left most of his estate to his daughter and got her husband's second-best bed. The best bed presumably went to the daughter. 5. Leona Helmsley, dog care. The billionaire hotelier died in 2007. Her entire $4 billion fortune was bequeathed to dog care. Helmsley's Maltese, Trouble, received $12 million. Most of her grandkids were left out of the will to inherit their share. They were ordered to visit their father's grave annually. 6. Frank Mandelbaum, wife. Mandelbaum left behind a $180,000 trust fund for his grandchildren, but there was one additional clause for his son Robert. Robert's children would only inherit a share if Robert agreed to marry their mother. He had to marry her within 6 months of their birth. Robert is gay. 7. Luis Carlos de Noronha, Cabral de Kamar, money for strangers. Kamar was a Portuguese aristocrat who died in 1988. He left all his considerable fortune to 70 random people. He'd chosen them out of the Lisbon phone book. 8. Keith Owen, flowers for Sidmouth. Owen wanted to see his favorite Devonshire town bloom, so he donated his entire £2.3 million fortune to Sidmouth. The money was to be spent on planting 1 million flowering bulbs. The interest was about £125,000 a year. Owen specified that it was for maintaining Sidmouth and 2 nearby villages. 9. Napoleon, hair bracelets. Napoleon directed to preserve his hair. It had to be made into bracelets with gold clasps. He directed that bracelets be sent
to my mother and to each of my brothers, sisters, nephews, nieces, the cardinal, and one of larger size to my son.
10. TM's Inc., a men's-only library. The Iowa attorney said he felt an intense hatred of women. He only left $5 to his daughter and nothing to his wife. The rest of his money was to be used to establish a library. It would be accessible to anyone after 15, except women. No works by women were allowed either. Zink allocated $100,000 for the Zink Womanless Library, but the will was challenged by his daughter. The court sided with her, and the library was never established. 11. Fred Bauer, Pringles Burial. Bauer was a chemist who invented the Pringles tube. He said he wanted to be cremated and buried in one. Everyone thought it was a joke, but Bauer put it into his will, and his son honored his wish.